Hi, I am on the brink of doing a weekly series. 2 weeks from when this goes live on the main channel, I'm going to start putting that out. So I thought before I started, I'd pitch it to you. There's not really any point. I'm going to do it anyway, but I just thought, well, you know what I thought was, I wrote this pitch document for my own reference. Before I started actually working on the series, I wrote this. It was never meant to be seen by anyone, but you know, it's free content, so we might as well use it. So everyone's mad at tech right now, but instead of undermining the tech companies, we seem to create these fictions that reinforce their power. You know, stuff like Facebook can change your beliefs, AI will replace us, Twitter bots determine elections, the police can do Minority Report, and TikTok knows you better than you know yourself. But really, online advertising is on the brink of collapse, progress in AI has plateaued, data collection doesn't work, and the algorithms are stuck in feedback loops. This isn't a story of evil overlords puppeteering society. It's about some idiots failing over and over, but receiving an incredible amount of power in the process, and global stagnation and an unregulated industry. This isn't your dad's Netflix Black Mirror, are you scared of your phone yet tech critique. This aims to be something genuinely deconstructive that attacks and doesn't hype up the power of tech. Actually, it is a lot like those Netflix docs, just obviously with no commercial future. Welcome to CYBERGUNK. Wait, what? So that's sort of the gist of it, and now I've got my guidelines for what the series is going to be. CYBERGUNK will consist of 15-minute episodes delivered straight to camera, with some really slick backdrops. It's basically just my current YouTube content with fractionally more deliberate direction. There is possible room for more fleshed out overlays, montages, and scenes like visual demonstrations, GPT generated bits, deep faked act outs, fake mid-rolls, juxtaposing interview clips, text-to-speech voices, cinematic outros, but only if that content feels tight, appropriate, and natural. I don't think I'll be doing much of that actually. I'm trying to sort of narrow the scope, and you know, since the content is so much of a departure from the rest of what I'm doing, I'm trying to stylistically stay in my lane. But yeah, sure, there's room for a bit of that stuff. Now, this is sort of going into relatively uncharted territory, covering topics that are generally sealed off in academia and considered sort of too dry or complex to be fully understood. So it's important that while everything should be exhaustively researched, by the time it gets to delivery, it's snappy, light, and conversational. Everything is throwaway. This series isn't about the detail, it's about the broad strokes. Yeah, this was never meant to be read aloud. That's sort of an embarrassing insight into what I'm trying to do here. Structurally, every episode should be pretty straightforward, opening with the punchy, jokey bit and doing all the informational setup, crescendoing into a big wow moment before ending on a more subdued note. Every episode should be filled with callbacks and factual links that tie everything together, and of course the same goes for the series as a whole. I might even include some proper jokes and not just meta deconstruction. Dense pieces of information or obscure facts should be stripped down and reworked into joke form or scrapped entirely. There's plenty of material in the denigration of the most powerful figures in society, but also Caleb Gamman should always be a low status idiot owning himself. It's important that the series is strongly ideological, as any media talking about current tech problems will be, but as much as possible, that needs to be smuggled in. The series is pointing towards ideas like regulation of the tech companies, public media, arts funding, antitrust law, rejection of AI, the complete destruction of neoliberal capitalism. But at no point should I be saying those things out loud. Really, your average viewer should watch this and think that it's apolitical, much like they would watch The Great Hack or The Social Dilemma. Idiots. That dates this. This was what this whole thing was like written in reaction against. Like, that's over a year ago now. Still, not a bad idea for a series, I think. Now, the episodes. We live in a weird time and it's hard to imagine a different future. So instead, our mass culture seems to just dig up the past and sort of reconfigure it to shore up the present. This video is about nostalgia and how it became a defining force in the modern world. By which I mean, how come there's so many dang Marvel movies? Or K-pop? Or that's just pop from 20 years ago? Or what's the deal with Stranger Things? This video looks at why we are culturally stuck in time, and why our media is increasingly nostalgic, but also the inherent nostalgia to using tech, the stress of being always on, the inability to escape your past, and strangely, because the algorithms themselves are nostalgic. Nostalgia can be a destructive, regressive force, but it can also be powerfully restorative. What we currently call AI really boils down to one pattern recognition algorithm. And while powerful, it's a far cry from our dreams of learning computers. These videos, are about automation and technophobia. From ancient Greece to Tesla, the Mechanical Turk to Amazon Go, the birth of modern AI in the 1950s, and the following waves of hype and disappointment ever since. The fundamental technology remains unchanged, and we find out over and over that no, the computer cannot learn to love. The tech companies don't have the power that we imagine, and comparatively ours is not an age of innovation but one of stagnation. Targeted programmatic advertising is the dominant business model of the internet, but recent research shows that it may not actually work at all. This video is about how the internet was commodified, and how that commodification was based on the financial market. This system was sold on lies and its flaws, the inaccurate data, fraud, dark pools, perverse incentives, have allowed it to spiral out of control. With advertising so integral to the internet, what does it look like without it? While the collapse of today's internet would have some extreme, far-reaching consequences, there is a path to a better future. Influencer is now a dream career, while employment in the traditional creative industries becomes increasingly precarious. This video is about Facebook's pivot to video, streaming's race to the bottom, and the lack of money in advertising. Tech has played a major role in tanking the creative industry, while public funding has slipped away. Individuals are increasingly turning to online platforms and crowdfunding to support their work, but the actual success stories are unfathomably rare. The tools are so much more accessible. Anyone can build a fan base of thousands from their bedroom, but for a creative to make a living, it's less attainable than ever. With the failure of programmatic advertising, those in power have turned back to a more traditional form of marketing, public relations. This video is about the increasing reach of media manipulation, how Netflix went from impersonating DVD forum users to manipulating social media algorithms, how press releases dominate news media, and how a new, more insidious version of PR has emerged, and what it has to do with stan culture. But despite these large campaigns to bombard us with secret marketing, it may not work at all. While machines can manipulate machines, we may be stronger than we think. In a world where data collection isn't actually effective at all, are there still reasons to not want it? This video is about the shady world of data brokers and surveillance capitalism, how these systems work and how they don't actually work at all. They're filled with errors and racism. Amazon wants to track the entire world, and they're coincidentally working with the police. The FBI's job is to show up at people's houses for posting. Algorithms are being used for predictive policing, which is where you find a vulnerable individual, make them do a crime, and then arrest them for it. There are steps you can take to disappear, but this is a bigger problem than any one person. The worry isn't that this powerful tech will destroy us, it's that it doesn't work and it's being used anyway. So there we go, that's the pitch for the series. I wrote that, before I finished even one script, so it's a little bit off, but that's the idea. Now, I'm expecting this to be some of the least watched, most hated videos on the channel, which is all good. Just wait it out, and I'll go back to doing whatever fucking garbage you want to see in no time. And there will be non-series related bonus content going up as well. But hopefully, hopefully it is of interest to some of you and you do like it. I mean, it should be good content. It's just like not going to get any algorithmic traction or organic reach. Most of the people subscribed to this channel are not going to be interested in it. So yeah, if you do like it, this would be a great one to share, because otherwise, you know, I mean, in terms of making YouTube-friendly content, this is not doing that at all. This is a complete waste of time. But it should be good. It should be good. But we'll see. I'll be doing update videos and plenty of series-adjacent bonus content up on the website as well. Doing all this in a big block and banking it and getting it out should mean, coming off the back of the series, I should be able to have some time to do some cool stuff. So, you know, whether you're interested in the series or not, you have to like it. Yeah, I think that's the ending. Thanks.